Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling. Like when you walk into a room, maybe you tripped just a little bit or said something slightly awkward.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the rest of the day, you just know everyone saw it. You feel like you're under this, I don't know, invisible spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Like all eyes are just fixed on you, judging.
Exactly. It's super common, that feeling. And it's actually tied to a really interesting cognitive bias.
Right.
So today we're doing a deep dive. We've got some source material here from the Decision Lab, and it helps explain, well, why we feel that way.
Okay. And our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to get right to the heart of this bias.
Yeah.
Define it clearly. Use a really good example from the material that brings it to life.
Yeah.
That may be connected to some related ideas, and also touch on the organization behind these sources.
Sounds good.
The main goal is just to pull out the most valuable stuff for you quickly.
Great. And the concept we're really getting into today is called the spotlight effect.
That's the one. So basically, the spotlight effect.
Huh.
It's our tendency to really overestimate how much attention other people are actually paying to us.
We think we're way more noticeable than we are.
Pretty much. We feel like we're on display constantly.
Right. Like the name says, every little quirk, every mistake we think we made, it feels huge, magnified.
And what's interesting, based on the source, is it's not just for negative stuff, things you're embarrassed about.
Yeah.
This bias pops up in positive situations too. So say you absolutely nail a presentation at work.
Okay. Feeling good.
Right. You might walk away thinking, wow, everyone must be talking about how brilliant that was. But you're probably overestimating how much they're thinking about it.
Ah.
Or the flip side, if it tanks, you're convinced everyone's just replaying your flubs over and over in their minds.
So the feeling of being watched is intense either way.
Exactly. Intense either way.
Yeah. The source material has this this great example. Super relatable. Picture being at a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're mingling, things are fine, and then whoops, you spill your drink, like right down your shirt.
Oh, the classic.
In that second, your whole world just shrinks, doesn't it? You feel so embarrassed. You're absolutely sure everyone saw you fumble, saw the stains spreading.
You feel totally exposed.
Yeah.
Mortified.
Yeah, like you're the clumsiest person there, definitely.
And you might spend, the next hour agonizing, trying to hide it, avoiding people.
Totally. But then maybe it's days later, maybe weeks, you bring up this epic fail moment with friends who are actually at the party.
Bracing yourself for oh yeah, that was bad.
Right. And crickets. They barely remember it.
Yeah.
Or they don't remember it at all.
Seriously. My huge drink spill catastrophe wasn't the main event.
Often, nope.
Nope.
And that's really the punchline of the spotlight effect, according to this example.
Right. While you felt like you were under this massive, bright stage light.
Blindingly bright.
Yeah. The truth is, most other folks were probably just busy, wrapped up in their own heads, their own conversations, maybe even their own little embarrassing moments they thought everyone saw.
Huh.
The source puts it nicely. It says something like, we're all walking around in our little spotlights, which are most of the time only visible to us.
Wow. Okay, so we're all just worried about our own spotlight.
It pretty much seems that way.
Whoa.
And it's interesting how this isn't just some isolated quirk of our minds.
Right.
The research points out that this spotlight effect, it's part of a bigger picture, a whole network of mental shortcuts, biases, ways our brain handles social stuff.
Yeah, the source mentions a few related things. One that jumped out at me was the illusion of transparency.
Ah, yes. Good connection.
That's where we think our inner feelings, nervousness, embarrassment, whatever, are way more obvious to others than they actually are. Like it's written all over our face.
Exactly. And you can see how that feeds right into the spotlight effect, can't you?
Oh, totally. If I feel super embarrassed about the spill,
Illusion of transparency.
then I assume everyone else must see that embarrassment clear as day.
Right. And if they can see it, well, they must be focusing on it, right? Which just cranks up that spotlight feeling.
Okay, yeah, that clicks. It really does. And the source lists other related concepts too, like false consensus effect, believing people agree with us more than they do.
Mm-hmm. That's another related social perception bias. And things like the halo effect.
Where one good trait makes us think everything else about the person is good.
Yeah. Or even things like the representativeness heuristic or understanding social norms. They're all pieces of this puzzle.
Different ways our brain tries to make sense of the social world and sometimes gets it a bit wrong or, biased.
Exactly. Understanding these biases, it's not just like trivia. It's almost a practical guide, how our minds actually work when we're trying to figure out the world and the people in it.
So this material we're diving into, it comes from the Decision Lab. What can you tell us about them? Who are they?
Right, the Decision Lab. They're a behavioral science consultancy.
Okay.
Their whole mission is basically about using insights from how people actually behave, evidence-based stuff, to help make better choices, both for individuals and like for social good initiatives.
So they take these ideas, like the spotlight effect, and apply them practically in the real world.
Precisely. They work with big organizations, the Fortune 500 companies, governments, foundations, that sort of thing.
Ah, yeah.
And they apply behavioral science across all kinds of areas. It could be helping design better digital products based on user behavior, or improving public policy, health programs, financial literacy, lots of different fields.
It's using how we think to make things work better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about using those deep insights into human decision-making to create, positive change. You see it in their results, helping a company boost revenue significantly, or getting more people to use a digital mental health tool, or even cutting down design time for products.
Reducing friction, making things easier based on how people actually operate.
Yeah, or helping people stick with programs, like reducing drop-off rates for debt consolidation services. It's all about applying the science of how we think to solve these kinds of practical problems.
Which really brings it back around to you, listening to this. How does knowing about something like the spotlight effect actually, help in everyday life?
Well, I think the biggest potential benefit is it can help dial down some of that social anxiety, that feeling of always being judged or watched.
Just knowing about it.
Yeah, simply being aware that this bias exists, reminding yourself, okay, wait a minute, people are probably way less focused on me and my actions than my brain is telling me right now.
Yeah.
That awareness can be really liberating.
It's like realizing that super bright light you feel shining on you. It's not actually coming from everyone else staring.
Right.
It's mostly coming from inside your own head, a projection.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. The main takeaway is just that the intensity of our internal spotlight, it's almost always way brighter than the actual real attention others are giving us.
Okay, so think about this. If you know now, when you, say, stumble over a word or have a slightly awkward moment, that most people around you are probably lost in their own thoughts, worried about what they just said, or just generally distracted by their own personal spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, what does that change? How might that shift how you approach things? Maybe it just gives you a little bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Permission to be slightly less than perfect, maybe take a small social risk, or just breathe easier without feeling the whole world is critiquing your every move.
Something to definitely think about.
Definitely something to ponder.